In this video we're gonna set this jump animation. As you can see in the last video we did that, so you can go and check that out. I have a link in the description, and go to timestamps, okay, when where I set the animation setting. Okay, just go over to that if you want to make that jump animation clip. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this topic. In the last video we set this player jump animation, as you can see. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna transition. Whenever we press the space key, we're gonna jump and we're gonna play the player jump animation. Okay, so we're gonna choose a condition in which condition we're gonna jump. Okay, whenever we press the space key, we're gonna jump. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna transition between these any two states. Okay, we're gonna also jump from player run and also from player idle. So we will jump both of these states. So we're gonna jump from any state. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a bool parameter which will be true or false, which gonna check. Okay, which gonna check, we're gonna set it is jump. Whenever we press the space key, we're gonna set it to true. Okay, the parameter. Okay, so what we're gonna do, go to parameter. In the left side you can see, hit the plus icon and select bool. We're gonna call something like jump. Okay, jump something like this, small letters, jump, and we're gonna set it to true. If it's true, then it will go to this player jump. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make transition from any both of these states. So we're gonna go to from any state. So right click on any state, then make transition to player jump, and we're gonna choose a condition to jump. Okay, so select this arrow and transition duration to select 0. We're gonna jump immediately, instantly. Okay, and we're gonna untick has exit time, and also we're gonna choose the condition over here. As you can see, list is empty, so we're gonna choose a condition. So we're gonna set this jump to true. If we set it to true, then we're gonna jump. Okay, so we're gonna choose this condition is jump, and we're gonna set it to true. Okay, so if I now play, okay, if I play, okay, if I play and if I check this, okay, if I check this jump, means if I set it to true, we will go over to player jump, and also we need to go to player idle and player run state. Okay, we also need to go to those states. So if I set it to true, as you can see, player is jumping. Okay, player is jumping, but we also need to go back to player idle and player run state, and we're gonna set it to unchecked, mean false, and then we're gonna go over to player idle and player run. As you can see, it's not going, it's just playing the player jump animation over again and again. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make transition between these two state. Okay, so right click on that, make transition to idle state, and also make transition to player run state. Okay, we also based upon player input. Okay, what so we're gonna choose a condition to go to player idle state. Okay, so firstly we're gonna set this jump to false. Okay, unchecked. Okay, we're gonna set it to false. Firstly we're gonna do has exit time to, we're gonna uncheck. As soon as we land on ground, okay, we're gonna go to player idle state or player run state. So we're gonna choose this one unticked, and also transition duration we're gonna set it to 0. Okay, as soon as we grounded, we're gonna jump, we're gonna go to player idle or player run state. Okay, so we need to choose a condition in which condition you want to go. Firstly we're gonna set jump parameter to false. We're gonna set it to false. Okay, set it to false. We're gonna set it to false, and we're gonna go to idle state if the speed is lesser than zero point 0.1. Okay, lesser than zero point 0.1. Basically we have created, okay, if it's if the speed parameter is lesser than zero point 0.1, if the speed parameter is 0, we set it to 0. 0, as you know, it is lesser than zero point 0.1. So it will go to player idle state. Okay, player idle state. And if we select this transition, we're gonna untick has exit time. Okay, as soon as we ground it, okay, we're gonna go to player run state based upon player input, what player doing. If the player pressing A or D key, so the movement or the speed parameter we are setting it to 1, so it will go to player run state. So we need to choose a condition, and we're gonna transition duration gonna set it to 0, because we're gonna immediately go to that player run state. So we need to choose a certain condition to go to player run animation. Okay, firstly we're gonna set this jump parameter. Okay, we're gonna set it to false because we are on ground. And we will choose a second condition. Okay, the condition we're gonna set it to speed parameter 1. If the player presses A or D key, the speed parameter we are setting it to true. Okay, so we are setting it to 2. So what we're gonna do over here, we're gonna put 0.1. So as you know, if we set speed parameter to 1, 1 will be greater than 0.1, as you know. So it will go to player run state. Okay, sorry, run animation. It will go to player run animation whenever whenever we press A or D key. We are setting this speed parameter to 1, and as you know, 1 is greater than zero point 0.1, so it will go to player run state. Okay, player run state. Firstly we are setting jump to this parameter to false, and then we are choosing a second condition. Okay, so we're gonna control this jump parameter to via our code. So we're gonna open up the player jump script. Okay, double click it to open up in Visual Studio. So whenever we press the space key over here, as you can see, if we press the space key and if we are grounded, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna play the jump animation. So what we need to do, we need to grab this animator component, as you can see. So we need this animator component, then we can tweak the value over here. So what we need to do, we're gonna create an empty field of parameter animator component, and then we're gonna drag it to that slot field. Okay, and then we will have the animator link up, so reference. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to top and we're gonna assign, we're gonna make it public so we can see in the inspector. The type of component will be animator. Okay, animator, and you have to name, so anim something like that. I'm going to call this animator. Control S on your keyboard to save this whatever you write. So you will able to see underneath RB, okay, rigid body, we will able to see an empty field of animator will appear. So what we need to do, we need to drag this animator to that field, so we will have the link up or reference of this animator, and then we can tweak this value over there, over here, as you can see. I hope you get the idea. So what we need to do, as you can say, animator which says none, which says empty. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag this animator to the animator slot. Now we have the animator. Now we can tweak this value. Animator is responsible for animation. Okay, so what we're gonna do, go ahead again to a script. So what we're gonna do over here, as you can see, if we are pressing the space key and if we are grounded, then we're gonna play the jump animation because we are pressing the space key. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to animator. Okay, we're gonna go to animator and we're gonna set that bool. You have to type the same name as we said jump. As if we go head over to, as you can see, jump, we set it. So we have to pass the parameter. Okay, jump or string, the string, and we're gonna set it to true. Okay, we're gonna set it to true. So control S on your keyboard, control S on your keyboard, and head again to Unity. Okay, head again to Unity. Just wait for to compile. Just wait for to compile, and you will able to see whenever we press the space key. Firstly we are going to this animator component and we're setting this bool parameter, jump bool parameter, to true. Okay, so if we clear the console and if we hit play, we will able to see that change. Okay, we will able to see that change. So just wait for to compile and you will able to see. So as you can see, when I press the space key, it's playing the jump animation. As you can see, we are stuck. Okay, oh sorry, 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 I just maximize. I'm gonna, okay, I'm going to close this tab. So as you can see, we are stuck in the player jump animation. We need to go to player idle or player run state based upon player, what player is doing, means if they pressing A or D key or not, something like that. So we're gonna go over to player jump, player idle state, and also player run state. Okay, we need to go that we are stuck in the jump animation. So what we gonna do, whenever we collide with the ground, okay, as you can see, whenever we colliding with the ground, we're gonna go over to player idle state or player run state based upon play what player is doing, if the player is pressing A or D key. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set this jump parameter, okay, parameter to false. Then we will go over to, as you can see, idle state, because we didn't press anything like that. So we are setting this speed parameter to 0. And as you can see, if the if we setting the speed parameter 0, which will be lesser than 0.1, 0 is lesser than 0.1, so that's why it's going to player idle state. Okay, if the player if we pressing A or D key, so what we are doing, we are setting this speed parameter to 1. So as you know, 1 is greater than will be 0.1, so it will go to player run animation. I hope you get the idea. So we're gonna set this parameter to false. We also need to set it to false when, when we're gonna set it to false, when we collide with the ground. Okay, when we collide with the ground, we're gonna set this jump parameter to false. So we need to head again to animation. Okay, script, sorry, script again. So over here, as you can see, you have to type this function, okay, void on collision into 2D. Okay, this function get called whenever we collide with something, and we are checking whatever we collided with, if the collider has tag is tag ground. As we know, we assign it this, if we select this grid and then this tile map, as you can see, we assigned this collider or this game object or this ground as a ground tag, as you can see in the inspector. So you also have to assign as a ground tag. So this function over here, void on collision into 2D function, whenever we collide with something, this function get triggered. Okay, and we can extract info whatever we collided with by going to this other, okay, other argument. So firstly we are going to other, then whatever collided with, we're going to that collider, and if that then we are going to tag. If it's equals to our ground, means we just collided with our ground. So firstly we are setting is ground to true, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna set this parameter, okay, jump this jump bool parameter to false. So we will go over to player idle state or player run state based upon what we pressing. Okay, so we're gonna do what we're gonna do, firstly we have to go to animator, then set bool. We're gonna set the bool parameter, and you have to type the same name as it is. Okay, so jump, and we're gonna set it to false. Jump, and we're gonna set comma, we're gonna set it to false. Okay, false, and end up with semicolon. Control S on your keyboard and head again to Unity. You will able to see whenever we collide with the ground, we will go over to player ideal state or player run state based upon what we pressing. If we pressing A or D key, then we will go over to player run state whenever we collide with the ground. If we're not pressing anything like that, we will go to player idle state when we collide with the ground. I hope you get the idea. So now if we play, okay, if we play and if we say press the space key, we are setting this jump parameter to true. Okay, jump parameter to true, and whenever we collide with the ground, we are setting this jump parameter to false. As you can see, when we collide with the ground, as you can see, we are setting this jump parameter to false. But when we like this, okay, as you can see, as you can see, if we pressing A or D key, we are going to player run state, because we are setting this, as you can see, the speed parameter to 1, and as you know 1 will be greater than 0.1, so that's why it will go to player run animation. But when the speed parameter is 0, as you know 0 is lesser than 0.1, so it will go to player idle state. Okay, I hope you get the idea. So if you are new to my channel, then subscribe it for future tutorials, and if you enjoyed this video and learned something, please give a thumbs up if you like this video. Okay, and share it with your friends who want to learn Unity from the beginning. Okay, and if you want to support me, you can support me on patreon.com. And lastly, thanks for watching this video.